Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I am Channon Rose for those of you guys that are new, and today I'm going to be doing a no buy low buy update for the month of January. This was my first month of my no buy year and I had so many things happen that I was not planning on. So this update is going to be interesting. Let's just say that. So we'll just get into like the craziest thing that came up this month that came out to $14,000, a bill of $14,000 that was completely unexpected. And that is a dental emergency. So I actually just recently had a crown put on my tooth because my tooth was really hurting, but the dentist before that said I needed a root canal. So I went to get a second opinion. That dentist said, you don't need a root canal. We'll just put a crown on it. Put a crown on it. That cost me $1,500. This was not this month, by the way. This was like a few months ago. But I told the dentist my tooth is still really hurting. It's hurting up in my gum area. Like something's not right. And he was like, oh, it's fine. It'll go away. My pain started to get worse. So I was like, screw that dentist. I'm going to a different dentist. And I went to a different dentist. They did like a 3D scan of my mouth and my jaw. And it turns out there was a huge infection in this tooth. And I did in fact need a root canal or the tooth to be extracted completely. But this other dentist like fully scammed me. I did a whole story time on that in detail on Patreon if you guys want to check that out. But basically I need to get this tooth just completely taken out now because that's how bad the infection is. The infection is actually life-threatening. And so I'm on like antibiotics and steroids and I have to have a surgery and it's become this huge ordeal. That dentist before that put the crown on, also when he was putting the crown on, broke a piece of the tooth behind it and never fixed it. And so now I have to get that fixed because if not, that could also cause an infection. And so that's another $1,700 to fix that tooth. And then I have another root canal over here. And so we were going to pull that one out. And then it ended up becoming like a $14,000 dentist bill. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm on a no buy low buy. This is not good for my first month. I cannot be like shelling out 14 grand, you know, like this is not part of the plan. And so I looked at it with my husband and we were able to get it down to $8,100 by just doing what was like an emergency at the moment and keeping out things that like could get done in the future. So yeah, an $8,100 bill for a dentist. I have to have a surgery done. And the good thing about that is that it's going to be done over the course of like the next 6 months. And I can pay, you know, like I paid $3,200 for the first surgery and then I'll just pay as I go. So then 3 months later, I'll be able to pay that. So that's kind of how we worked it out. Instead of paying all at once, they're like, oh, we'll give you 5% off if you pay everything at once. But I've learned not to do that. When I got my tattoo, I got laser tattoo removal and they were like, oh, if you pay everything up front, we'll give you like a big discount or whatever. So I was like, okay. So I did that. And then the laser tattoo, it was like Dr. Tadoff, they ended up shutting down their offices. They like went bankrupt or something. And I never got my money back. And that was like thousands and thousands of dollars I lost. So that was a lesson I learned that I'm hopefully passing on to you. Don't pay for everything up front. It might seem good at the beginning, but you never know what could happen in the future. So just pay for that like first appointment and then the next appointment. So I was like, no, I'm not paying all up front. I will pay for this appointment. So $3,200 for a dental emergency. That's part of my update for January. The other thing was the whole mattress saga, which if you guys watched my first no buy low buy video, basically we had a bunch of mattress issues. I won't get into all that again. Just go watch that video to catch yourself up. But we ended up buying a $2,500 mattress. But I learned something very valuable this month that I wanted to share with you guys that I thought is really cool. We had bought these Big Lots mattresses. I bought one for my bed and one for my daughter's bed. We bought her a queen bed. She's only 3, but she has sleep issues. We were hoping this was going to help with them. It didn't. But on Big Lots website, it says that they do not accept returns if the packaging was open for furniture. And so I was really bummed out because we bought 2 beds and we weren't happy with them and then we couldn't return them. So for the queen bed, we ended up donating to a family in need. So I felt good about that. And then I told Travis, you know, can you just call and see if we can return her mattress and her bed frame? Because her bed frame I wasn't in love with. I thought it was a wooden bed, but it was just like a decal of wood and it was expensive for like what I was buying, you know, what I was actually buying. So even though they said that they didn't return it on their website, I had Travis call and ask and they freaking accepted the return. And I wish I would have known that because I could have saved saved an extra $600 by returning the king mattress that I ended up donating. But everything happens for a reason, so I'm not gonna get upset about it. But I'm so happy because they actually let us return it, even though on their website it said that they don't. So my point is, and the lesson I learned that I want to share with you is, try calling, even though if their policy says something otherwise, try calling and tell them the situation or tell them whatever it is. It doesn't hurt to ask. In our case, they actually let us return them because it was within that 30-day window, even though it said on their website, we will not accept returns of mattresses that have been, you know, out of their plastic. We just had to bring it to them to return. So we were able to get some money back. So that was really good and made me feel a lot better, especially with like the whole dentist situation that came up. Another thing that came up was my sewing machine broke, and I have had this sewing machine for 15 years. It was like a Walmart special I bought for like $100, and I loved it. I put like stickers all over it, kind of like my laptop, and it was just like, you know, my baby. And I have like a side business where I have an Etsy shop. I sell a lot of like eco-friendly, zero waste, reusable stuff like cloth menstrual pads, which are amazing. I know some people might hear that and think like that's disgusting, but I promise you it's actually not disgusting. And anybody that thinks that their own period blood is gross, like, we really need to change your mindset, because that's not gross at all. It's our bodies and we should be totally comfortable with that. You know, if you got like a cut on your hand or something and it got on your shirt, you would just throw it in the wash. You wouldn't think like, oh, that's gross or anything, but like, because it's our period blood, like, people get so grossed out by that. I'm going on a tangent here, but it's just because like I'm very passionate about cloth pads and periods, and I just think that like our society has like really made us think that we're gross for having period blood, and I don't think that that's gross, and I really want to change people's minds about that. So anyway, but I'm also very passionate about cloth pads, and I've talked about them so many times, and I love them, and I could do like a whole video on them because they've helped me so much. I have endometriosis and I can't use menstrual cups because they're really painful for me. So cloth pads have been just such a game changer for me, and they're so comfortable. It feels like you're not even wearing anything at all. And so I really love that. Although you have to make sure you get the right ones, because the Amazon ones I liked at first because they were the first ones I tried because they were really cheap, but they ended up giving me yeast infections because they weren't very breathable, and also they slide around in your underwear a lot, which is not the best. Just if you're gonna invest in one, maybe just try buying like one from like an Etsy shop or like a maker. I have them on my store. Right now they're sold out, but I'll always be restocking them. I think that they're so cool and would highly recommend people to try them. And they save you a ton of money, and they're way better for the environment, and they're not gross to wash. It's a lot easier than you think. Anyway, I'm getting off track here, but oh gosh, now what was I even gonna say? Well, oh, so a sewing machine. I made bowl covers and wooden coasters, all kinds of, but anyway, my point is that I use a sewing machine for work. And so it was a need to get a new sewing machine, and we tried to fix, we literally took the whole thing apart. We tried to fix my old sewing machine. There was just no fixing it. My husband took it all apart and tried to fix it because we're on the low buy, no buy. And then I was like, let's try taking it to a repair shop. And then I realized it was gonna cost more to repair it than the machine cost itself. And so it was just time to get a new machine. I looked up on Facebook Marketplace and also Craigslist because I was gonna try to buy used because I'm trying to be eco-friendly, and this whole no buy, low buy, that was part of my rules. I found a $70 beautiful vintage sewing machine on Facebook Marketplace. I posted it on Instagram saying I was thinking about buying it to try to get some feedback from you guys. And a lot of you were like, do not buy that. It's beautiful, but it's not reliable. It's hard to find parts if something breaks. So I knew, because I use a sewing machine for my business and for work, I needed something reliable, and that if something happened, I could have a warranty. So I ended up buying a new sewing machine from Amazon for like $209, and I love it. It is like the coolest sewing machine ever. So I'm very happy, but I did have to buy that. I also had to buy like thread for it for work stuff. So just like business stuff basically. But other than that, we've been doing really good on our no buy, low buy. That is kind of the overall update for the month of January. And yeah, I'll keep you guys posted for February. I think the hardest thing for me is like feeling like I want to spend money and then trying to not let myself do that, you know, or like trying to buy things out of convenience because I'm busy and I need things quickly and I don't have time to like, you know, look and search for things used. I think that is going to be tricky for me, but I'm going to work on it and do the best I can. So that's kind of my update. Let me know if any of you guys are also doing this, and if you guys have any tips or advice down below. That way we can all kind of like share our thoughts and opinions with each other, because I think that that's really fun to do. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sending you all my love and all my positive energy, and I hope to see you in my next video. Mwah.